All right, so now we're going to talk about quadrants of the unit circle. Okay, so this is our picture here. As soon as I did this, I thought, well, why didn't I do the circle first? But when I do the circle first, it usually comes out better. Let's see how this comes out. It's not so bad. Okay, so, all right. Sort of drew it big there. The quadrants are as follows. This is quadrant 1. It's sort of customary to use Roman numerals, and then also to abbreviate quadrant to just writing Q. That's Q2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. If you want to just use, if you don't want to use Roman numerals, that's fine. So, but it's pretty common to use these. Okay. Now, if you look at a point, this is X and Y. If you look at a point XY in quadrant 1, they're both going to be positive because, say, if you take a point in quadrant 1, you're moving to the right and you're moving up. So they're both positive. On the other hand, in quadrant 2, the X coordinate will be negative and the Y coordinate will be positive, because negative because your X is moving to the left, positive because Y is moving up. Quadrant 3, they're both X and Y are negative because we're moving to the left and down. Quadrant 4, we're moving to the right and down. So we're going to get plus minus. All right, so let's apply this to a problem where we use the Pythagorean identity. So we're going to use the Pythagorean identity which is cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1 to find sine theta given that cosine theta is equal to negative 1/2 and theta lies in quadrant 3. All right, sorry, I was off the page the whole time. Okay, use the Pythagorean identity. The Pythagorean identity is cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. And what we're going to find is sine theta, given that cosine theta is negative 1/2 and theta lies in quadrant 3. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, draw a little picture here. And I'm going to label Q1, Q2, Q3. And the X, okay, cosine is the X coordinate. And so I'm going to write down the X coordinate is negative 1/2. The X coordinate is cosine. All right. Now what we're trying to do then is we're trying to find the Y coordinate, because the Y coordinate is sine theta. And okay, so quadrant 3 is as shown. Now recall that in quadrant 3 we have X and Y both being negative. Okay, so this is my solution here. So I have cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in negative 1/2. So therefore I get 1/4 plus sine squared theta equals 1. And therefore sine squared theta equals 1 minus 1/4, which is 3/4. And then sine theta is found by taking the square root of both sides. So plus or minus the square root of 3/4. So we should do plus or minus. And we know the square root of 4 is 2. Okay, now the thing is though, sine theta is the y-coordinate, and it's negative, the y-coordinate's negative in quadrant 3. Therefore, sine theta is not just plus or minus. There's one answer, and that's negative rad 3 over 2.